right? So the lovely organisers of Summer in the City released volunteer applications a couple of days ago, and there have been a lot of questions that have been asked, and I feel like not enough of them have been answered, so I'm going to try my best to try and answer some of the frequently asked questions about volunteering at Summer in the City. Number 1, the most frequently asked question: how old do I have to be to volunteer for Summer in the City? I think it states in the application form, but if you do a bit of digging around, you have to be at least 16. Number 2 is, what do volunteers do and what does volunteering entail? Well, the way the volunteers are split up, you have lots of different tasks. I think last year some of the tasks involved like merchandising, guest liaison, crowd control, ticketing, meet and greet ticketing, and that kind of stuff. So it depends what you're allocated to, really. You can sort of work out what each role entails just by the title. Merchandising is you're just behind the merchandise stores and selling stuff to people, such as t-shirts and everything for each YouTuber. This year you won't need people giving out tickets for the meet and greets because obviously they're being allocated beforehand, but I'm sure they'll need volunteers to stand at the queues and make sure everyone's in line and check tickets, so it'll be that kind of stuff. Crowd control, just make sure people aren't pushing and shoving and there isn't a stampede, and making sure everything's in order. But each role has some stuff in common. For example, you'll just be answering questions for anybody that looks a bit lost. You'll know where everything is, you can direct people, you'll know what the schedule's like and who's on where, so you can help people in general information-y kind of stuff. My personal experience was I was put down as guest liaison, and there weren't many of us, so we were actually working in the green room behind the scenes, looking after YouTubers, making sure they're hydrated and fed, and making sure they get to the right stores at the right places for their meet and greets and signings and stuff. So I didn't actually have to interact a lot with the crowd, but I still met some really cool people and it was a really good experience. Number 3 is like, do I have to volunteer for the whole weekend? And I think the answer is no, because last year you can sort of volunteer for a certain number of hours or a certain number of days, and again, you're volunteering, you're not being paid for this, so if you don't want to do all the hours, then you don't have to do all the hours, but just make sure if you do get to volunteer, you let the organisers know exactly when and when you're not available. For example, you can be working for one half of the day, so for the first half of the day you could be working behind a merchandising stall, but then for the second half of the day it's completely up to you. You can be in that crowd, you have no volunteering duties, you can just do what you wanted to do and enjoy the event. Number 4, what are the benefits? Well, the benefits are the experience, really. If you've never volunteered before, I highly recommend it because it's a really good thing to put on your CV. It looks interesting. It's a really good thing to talk about if you're looking for jobs. And if you want to know what it's like to manage crowds of people and give information to helpless teenagers and just be part of the machine that works massive events like these, it'd be great. Plus you'll be at the Excel Centre, and how many people can say they volunteered at the Excel Centre for like a massive convention? Also, you'll meet some amazing people. All of the volunteers I met were lovely people, and I'm still talking to them today, and I know loads of people that have made friends for life. You'll meet loads of like-minded people. Everyone loves YouTube, everyone loves cats, everyone loves internets. So yeah, it's working with a lot of like-minded people as well, and they keep you really enthusiastic. If you're worried about working too many hours and that you'll get tired, don't worry about it. There's guys to help you there, and they're all very lovely and helpful. Number 5, can volunteers still meet the guests, i.e. YouTubers? It depends. If you decide to volunteer for the whole time that you're there, then you probably won't be, especially if you're doing something like crowd control or merchandising. You'll mostly be interacting with the people that have bought tickets to the events. However, if you're not volunteering for the whole time, of course you'll get to go out and wander, and if you've got meet and greet tickets, you can go and still use your meet and greet tickets. Also, you never know, if somebody requires you to go ask another volunteer who happens to be backstage behind the YouTubers, then you go there and find them. Suddenly you can see all the guests, and then yes, you will see them. However, I recommend that you stay professional about it. I mean, there is a quiet room for the YouTubers for a reason, so that they can relax away from the hustle and bustle of the main event, and if they're getting a bit hot or flustered somewhere there, maybe they can cool off and hydrate, so they're there for a bit of peace and quiet. So I do recommend that you be sensitive and professional about it. If it looks like they're a bit hot and flustered and really not up for a photo or like signing something, then don't ask for it, because essentially you're a volunteer. They should be able to trust you. You're not just interested in the photo, and that you actually want to help run the event smoothly. One last piece of advice: if it is your first summer in the city, I recommend just going out and enjoying it and not volunteering until maybe you've decided to do it for another year. Only because I feel like you'll miss a lot of the main event, and volunteering is something that you kind of do once you know how the event works. If you're there and enjoying all the attractions, then you'll sort of get a gist of that, so yeah. That's all the questions I could find that were frequently asked on the Twitter. If you have any more, please post them below and I'll do my best to answer, and if not, I'll grab all of my last year volunteering friends and they'll answer as well, hopefully. I hope you choose to volunteer at Summer in the City, because I think it's a great event to volunteer at. Anyway, I'll speak to you soon.